45 of 51, 656 yards, 8 touchdowns on the day. And as you look at him moving forward, how good of a pro prospect is he? He's, after all, a throw first, run second kind of guy.
He is, and you know, this year coming into the year, there are a lot of players with potential at that position. Matt Barkley, I still think, is the #1 quarterback prospect, but the gap between Barkley and Geno Smith is shrinking. And Geno Smith has overtaken, in my opinion, a lot of other very good quarterbacks with talent and potential. Tyler Bray from Tennessee is a good example. Logan Thomas from Virginia Tech, who struggled this year. Tyler Wilson from Arkansas, who struggled with injury but is trying to battle through. Also, Landry Jones, who's just, things have fallen apart from Oklahoma. E.J. Manuel, who's playing well for Florida State. But all these quarterbacks now, in my opinion, are behind Geno Smith. And I think the biggest improvement I'm seeing, as I talked about before, intermediate to deep throws, his touch and accuracy have improved. And that was the one area going back last year around this time that I thought Robert Griffin III made his biggest improvement from 2010 to 2011. We're seeing the same thing, Geno Smith, 2011 to 2012.
Well, you say that Matt Barkley is still your #1 top pro prospect. Why is that over Geno Smith? He's had some interception problems, and Geno Smith, he has 0 interceptions all year long.
They haven't played anyone defensively. And I think the most important thing that you use as a tool to evaluate is under pressure. You have to study the pressure throws on the coach copy tape and really see where everything's coming from. And right now, you just don't see enough of that. And I have to go through the process, you know, 3/4 of the way through the year when the season's over and you have all the tape. But remember, they have a very difficult schedule coming up. I mean, all the tough teams, Oklahoma State, Texas, Kansas State, not in this order, but all the tough competition still coming up in the next 7-8 weeks for West Virginia. But you can't be happier with Geno Smith, what he's done to this point.
Yeah, that's exactly who they play next week is Texas, at Texas in Austin. So, you know, they're going to be fired up. What can we expect there from that Longhorns defense? Manny Diaz, what's he got planned for Geno Smith and the Mountaineers?
Very talented secondary and an experienced, talented defensive front four, especially those defensive ends. Jackson Jeffcoat, Alex Okafor, those guys can get pressure on the quarterback without having to blitz and send extra guys. So today you saw a lot of blitzes and vacated zones. And Geno Smith's so smart, he's been around this long enough that he recognizes a vacated zone, waits for the blitz to come, and just pops and goes. Against Texas, I think it's going to be a little bit different. He's going to have to make good reads, and he's also going to have to hang in there, but the windows are going to be tighter. So I can't wait to see that matchup next week, and I'm interested to see if Texas can play well against Oklahoma State, and will it be a matchup of 2 undefeateds.
What about the offense for the Longhorns? If they get in another shootout, can they keep pace with David Ash?
No, not from what I've seen. And Brian Harsin, their co-offensive coordinator, is as good a play caller as I've seen in college football today. They came out against Ole Miss, Texas did, and ran the ball 11 of the first 12 plays. And then once they established the run and that physical presence, then they started mixing in the wrinkles.
Is that what you have to do?
I think,
maybe,
well, with
keep
David Ash,
the ball away from the other team?
With a young quarterback, absolutely. I mean, they have a good run game, but they don't have the playmakers on the outside. And with the inexperience that Ash has at the quarterback position, this isn't a knock on Ash. He's just, you know, this is where Geno Smith was a few years ago. You've got to kind of grow on the job and learn where to go with the ball. But Harsin is doing a great job of protecting the young quarterback. And I just don't think if they're forcing a situation where Ash has to throw 35, 40 times in a game, that would be the blueprint for Texas to win. I think they would have to limit him to about 20, 25 and run the ball 35, 40 times and keep it away from Geno Smith, Tavon Austin, Stedman Bailey, and this explosive offensive attack.
What kind of confidence does this give Geno Smith moving forward as the season progresses? I mean, over 600 yards, 8 touchdowns. Those are video game numbers, as we always like to say.
If he's smart, absolutely no more confidence than what he had coming in today, because he knows. He knows what defense he faced. He's going to go watch the tape. This guy is a film junkie, from what I'm told, and he's going to understand that I'm not going to see this anymore. You know, these first 4 games, the defenses I face, I'm not going to see a unit as poor as these units down the stretch. So he knows he has to prepare for a much stronger defensive unit, and he's seen defenses like that in the past, and he's succeeded. Last year, I thought against LSU, he had one of the better quarterback performances that we saw against that defense all year long. So he can do it. It's just a question of, you know, getting everyone on the same page and maybe getting a little bit more help from the run game and just being ready to weather the storm when they get in some tough spots.